We stand here today still at the outset of this journey, one that will be taken over the course of the next 2 years to retire MNLARS and associated legacy systems and replace them with a packaged software solution. This implementation will enable Minnesota to join an ecosystem of other states who are delivering driver and vehicle services against the backdrop of a rapidly evolving technology marketplace with rapidly evolving consumer expectations. And that ecosystem will enable Minnesota to leverage both the innovative approaches of other states as well as the research and development investments of a leading industry partner for years to come. This journey will not be easy, though. There will be, as there always is in the case of a large technology implementation, bumps in the road along the way.
Looking back from the beginning, we always were concerned the number of deputy registers were not enough that were involved in the previous release. And so is 5, in your opinion, is 5 enough that represent a small shop, a large shop, a county-run shop, a city-run shop, and a private shop that gives everybody not exactly what they want, but a good compromise that represents all our different structures of deputy registers?
I do believe that 5 is sufficient. It's hard to judge between, say, 5 and 8, but I think any more than that is not really necessary. 5 is a good number, and the 5 would be there full-time, so they're actually there every day. I think that will get a lot of utility out of that. I think it is also incumbent on those groups to work back with their associations and make sure they keep the members that they represent, the 5 representing the full suite of deputy registrars, informed about what's going on and get their input.
Department of Public Safety is the lead agency for the implementation of VTRS, and as I understand it, Minute's primary role is the decommissioning of the old MNLARS system. So my question to you is, as the vendor, are you receiving, all of the information that you need in order to proceed with the contract?
Minute's primary role on top of the decommissioning is also providing us with the infrastructure, hardware, networking, that type of operational work. They were great to work with during our first FastDS rollout, and we're continuing to see that great cooperation with Minute in terms of the hardware and infrastructure. In terms of the decommissioning and other related information we need from them, we've been at this for about 2 weeks, so we're just starting to ask the questions and knock on the doors, and we're just to the point now where we're starting to get to some pointed questions, and to date the answers have been forthcoming and very quick.
DPS has been very helpful, Mr. Chairman, and I would point back to Senator Jasinski's comments earlier. We do very much look for and even rely upon good business expertise from ultimately the people who will use the system, and DPS has been very helpful in bringing deputy registrars onto the project that are engaged and excited to be there and very much motivated. They seem very motivated to help us create a good solution.
The current MNLARS system is, depending on, estimates, probably 2/3, 3/5, 4/5 complete, and is able to really largely manage the transaction volume that it's requested to do. But there are a lot of manual interventions and manual steps, and so there is a staff that provides the just ongoing maintenance of the system related to security patches, maintaining the infrastructure, as well as just the normal starting and stopping and correcting of runtime activities that are involved. And I think it's really critical that we don't take our eye off of that until the appropriate time for decommissioning.